Life is a gift. I know this is being said in a poetic context, but some people take it for real. It's a very optimistic expression that is being used by life lovers or life fans, apparently, for what it has of potential for joy, happiness, and meaningful experiences, and everything that could be described as being positive. But as you know, how can positivity exist without the existence of negativity? This word definitely gets its definition from being contingent on its opposite definition, negativity. And it's also the other way around. Negativity wouldn't exist if there was no notion or definition for positivity. Let's say, for example, that having a lot of money is positive itself. But imagine with me that everybody has the same amount of money, even if this amount of money is a lot. But everybody is just in an environment in which everybody just has the same amount of money. If everybody has the same amount of money, I guess poverty wouldn't exist, same as wealth. We wouldn't find somebody to call poor, and we wouldn't find automatically somebody to call rich. How can we know that poverty exists, which is relatively less money, if nobody has that less money? And how can we know that wealth exists if nobody has more money, because everybody has the same amount of money? It goes both ways, as you can see. Therefore, from this, we get to conclude that whatever positive experience that life might offer, it would be meaningless without the existence of its opposite. Imagine with me a guy who is born in a rich family. He never meets anybody less rich. Does he really have a definition of poverty in his mind? Does he really have a definition of wealth in his mind? Does he even know that he is wealthy to begin with? From this we get to say that whatever life contains of positive experiences must definitely contain negative ones to have some type of meaning for both of them. If we win all the time, winning would not be as pleasurable. We need a margin of loss necessarily to keep us going. We never appreciate health until we get sick. We can never be content if we were never discontent. However, is this really a good deal? Why should I go into negativity to get positivity? Does positivity really worth it? Moreover, the rich could perceive the poor and enjoy his riches, and the poor could perceive the rich and suffer his poverty. The healthy could perceive the ill and enjoy his health, but also the ill could perceive the healthy and suffers his illness and incapability. Abstract concepts get their meaning from their opposite, but it doesn't mean you will get to experience them both necessarily. You could stay in the negative side, or you could stay in the positive side. Uncertain, for this is life and we cannot control the course of events. Life includes uncertainty. Either you are rich and get poor, or you are poor and get rich, or even you are rich and get poor then get rich, or you are poor then get rich then get poor. It's uncertain. People are never certain about what will happen tomorrow. Then what is this? This uncertainty is negative itself, and this is all what life offers. Fear. When we're talking about uncertainty, we're talking about fear, paranoia, anxiety, and stress. Who wants something like that? This is what life is. It's uncertainty. People have a fake feeling of control over events just to keep themselves mentally stable. But things, in matter of fact, are random and chaotic. Why do you think a mental practice such as negative visualization exists? Then reaching this, you would just say, what is this? I don't want anything to do with this. I do not consent to be a part of this. I do not agree to the terms and conditions of life. I do not consent. This is ridiculous and so much for a gift. If I had a button that I could press to undo my birth, I would want to press it. But that result of me never being born would become my future. Because me existing in the past and in the present could never be undone. When I press the button, everything I was and everything I have done becomes the past. which is done, and there's nothing that could change it or modify it because it's done. So it's pretty much just like dying. Present, then absent. There is a way for that, and I don't need a time machine for that. But let's return to the subject. Ever achieved something you desperately wanted? Like a house, a car, a romantic partner, a job, some type of travel, anything. And then at first you felt really good about it, but shortly afterwards, that pleasant feeling just stops. After peaking, it becomes stable again. It's the hedonic principle. Whatever positive or negative feeling which happens to you, after feeling a peak in pleasure or a peak in stress, you just get back to a stable feeling. You just get used to it and become stable again. Then why would I accept those terms and beget my children? I know I couldn't refuse those terms because I wasn't existing before I existed, therefore I could never refuse, but I could still refuse right now. Take the choice for my children. And I could demonstrate logically that life is suffering, therefore I could just decide for my children. And presumably they are my children, and presumably I would love them if they existed. Therefore, if I loved them and I knew that I would love them once they exist, why wouldn't I just prevent them from existing at all? To not get harmed once for all. Why would I force them to submit? Our brains are not evolved for happiness, they are evolved for rewards of dopamine. Our ancestors needed to chase more animals, to hunt more animals, find more resources, and find more mates. If they prioritized contentment and happiness, we wouldn't be here, would we? This is why it's so hard for people to live a life of simplicity, especially men with testosterone. So based on that, what now? Are my children fated to just slave away for things that would give them a spike of dopamine, then find themselves in the run for something else? This never ends. Sacrificing the here and now for uncertainty. How unwise. We can definitely say that people recover their stable state after an achievement or a win or something. It happens to all of us, but I'm not sure we could generalize it in the other way around. We have examples of people that could never recover from a shocking, stressful situation. People getting depressed, people compromising their mental health, people committing suicide. Some people just never recover. If we insist that we should also accept it for the other way around, not recovering but positively. I couldn't recover from a positive achievement, and I am better now. I'm better in terms of happiness and stuff. But hey, it's not worth it at all. Toss a coin and you never know what will you get. Maybe positivity, maybe negativity, maybe positivity, then negativity, then again positivity. And this lies with uncertainty at all times. And I could say that the maximum amount of negativity is always more harsh, is always more harder, more intense than the maximum amount of positivity, because our brains have evolved to just try to avoid pain as much as it can. If the brain had a choice whether to avoid pain or to get some type of pleasure, it will always try to avoid pain. So who would go through the maximum amount of pain for the maximum amount of pleasure? Nobody. It's irrational. Therefore, if life was really a gift, it must include only positivity, rather than that it is either we are lying or we are bullshitting ourselves. And just because you had a subjectively good life, in your opinion, because the best life is still bad, this doesn't mean that the same would happen with other people. And it definitely doesn't mean that the same would happen to your children. The horrors of life lie in uncertainty. And how can you gift someone who doesn't exist to begin with? Life is a gift would only apply on somebody who is already in existence. Like somebody denied his freedom or something like that. In which it would only be rhetorical, because he who exists is already alive. You cannot gift him life because he is already alive. Therefore, in that particular rhetorical phrase, we must have some extra meaning for life. We must include in our extra meaning for life something that the addressee lacks. But if he is already in a state of need and lack, he adds that with critical thinking, he will never accept that life is a gift, no matter what. So a true statement would be, life is a punishment. But how can you punish someone who doesn't exist? Life is a burden? I still find it more erroneous. Life is relatively bad? I feel this would be more rational to say. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. Thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.